Hello, my name's Charlie and today I'm going to do a how-to on observational drawing. We're going to look at the process of mark making, drawing from observation and looking at layout and composition. So today's workshop is broken down into 3 stages. The materials that we need will be a range of different papers, so just white paper to draw on, and then a range of coloured papers. You'll need materials for mark making, so this might include paint or ink, wax crayon, chalk, charcoal, anything you can get your hands on to make different marks onto paper. You'll need a good set of scissors or a scalpel and a cutting mat. I've also been using acetate, which has been quite good for layering if you have access to that. You'll need some glue, and most importantly you'll need something to work from, because part of the process is starting with an observational drawing. So stage 1 of this workshop is mark making, so we can pre-prepare some papers that we can then cut up and use as part of our composition. Mark making is anything that makes a mark on paper, so traditionally we might use ink and paint and a paintbrush, but you can use anything. So scouring pads from your kitchen are quite a good tool to use, just to create different effects. So I have some examples here. So this is using a paintbrush, just twisting it slightly. We have kind of wax crayons, so using different ends of the crayon, so you've got a sharp end and a thicker end. You can play with the idea of repetition, so your work possibly becomes more patternly, and also looking at the pressure at which you apply your ink or your paint as well can give you really different results. It's playful, it should be fun, there's no right, no wrong, so just give it a go. So I'm just going to use ink here and a paintbrush. I'm going to use that motion, that twisting motion, just to try and get some circular shapes onto this piece of paper. The more times I do it, the less ink will be on the brush, which will give me some quite interesting results as well. So stage 2 of this process is observational drawing. We've done our mark making, we're going to leave that to the side to dry while you prepare your visuals to work from your composition. So clear your station, get yourself a nice clear workspace that you can draw in. It doesn't matter what you draw with. I like a fine liner, it gives me a really crisp line. We need to keep this quite simple. I use a method initially, I suppose, and if you lack a bit of confidence with drawing, of continuous line. It means that your lines are often very bold, they're singular, and they keep your kind of patterns very simple. So that's a good bit of advice if you are a bit nervous about drawing. So observational drawing, you need to look and you need to draw onto the paper. So constantly referring to the subject in front of you, keeping those lines really simple. Okay, so stage 3 is our final composition. So we're going to lay out the drawings that you've just done, drawing from observation, and use them as reference. I tend to take a couple of sections from each drawing and then create a new composition. So grabbing a piece of paper, it's called your ground colour, that's what you're going to work onto, and identify one of the shapes within one of your drawings. And recreate that, draw that again onto one of your chosen pieces of mark making from earlier. I've used a pencil just because it's easier, obviously, to rub the lines out if when you're cutting you don't quite cut up against your drawn line. Okay, so that's my ground colour. I'm going to paste my shape on top. I've cut out some extra pieces from earlier, and I'm just going to have a play around with layering them. So you can add in plain colours. It looks quite good if you have a lot of pattern and texture going on from your mark making. So plain colour can be used quite nicely to break some of that up. Just play around with your composition until you're happy with the layout. Okay, so that's the 3 stages of our workshop completed. We've looked at mark making, we've looked at observational drawing, and we've looked at composition and layout. As part of this process, you will have also considered colour and pattern and how well they work together in your final composition. You could break each process down and have fun with each of them without bringing them together. Mark making can take you in lots of different directions, as can less conventional approaches to observational drawing. So have fun with the process, enjoy what you're doing, be experimental, and we hope to see you again soon.